Hi everyone. So it's springtime and it's muddy, but every time spring comes around, I get looking forward to being outside more and bopping around the fields and the farm and everything else. So I thought I'd make a movie on this. This is an '85 Honda ATC. I think it's technically called a 250 ES or EX Big Red. I've had this thing, oh boy, I want to say 13 years, somewhere in there. Back to 2010, I think is when I got it. But regardless, I grew up on a 185S Honda three-wheeler and beat the absolute snot out of it as a kid. I think I got it when I was around 14 years old. I don't know how many miles on it I put. It was just a ton. And ran it into a tree, bent the frame, straightened the frame back out after, my timeout section. My parents got pretty mad that I ran into a tree. And that 185 motor, that thing was just bulletproof. It would just, I could run it damn near underwater and through the swamp, and it would just keep going. I mean, obviously, if you kept the carb clean, it was just a great little machine. I loved it. So fast forward to 2010, this came. I was actually just over at a neighbor's place. They had a little fabrication shop, and they were going to sell out and move to Florida. And we were out back in a shed, and he's like, "Do you want a three-wheeler?" And I said, "Maybe." And I saw this there. And this was probably it was just so nice compared to the one I had. I was like, definitely interested. Now, granted, this is this 13 years ago. He goes, "How about $300?" And I couldn't get him the money fast enough. I knew at the time that $300 was a good deal. I figured it was probably worth $900 to $1,000. But nowadays, in 2023, I don't know what they're actually bringing, but I see what people are listing them for, and it's crazy. So I'm going to treat this thing to a little bit of a bath, a couple upgrades, and try to enjoy it this spring and summer. Like I said, I think it's been sitting for at least 4 years. Haven't even touched it. So let's take a look, do a little walk around. This was more of a utility. Obviously, you can tell by the front racks. Utility three-wheeler. They made ones very similar to this that didn't have all the luggage racks. Maybe some of them didn't have rear suspension, that looked very, very much the same. And then they had like a sport three-wheeler lineup that I always really wanted. And they're like 250Xs or 250Rs. Some were two-stroke, some were four-stroke. Those things bring big money now too. Always wanted one. My parents wouldn't let me because these were bad. These were scarier enough, dangerous. But a two-stroke one, I guess those would really fly. And yeah, so I never got one, and probably won't end up with one ever because they're crazy money now, and I'd probably kill myself. So this one's in really nice shape. The plastic's in good shape. I'm not missing this stuff. I took it off for what we're going to do to it. It's got a speedometer, which I don't see too many of these, or if I've seen any of them with it. But it's showing 1,052 miles, and I think the 113 is what I put on it since I've owned it. So I'm pretty sure I just rolled that back when I got it, and I kind of keep track. So, but They're fairly simple. This one's got electric start. It's got a neutral light, reverse light, couple headlight selections, choke, and so this is the choke, kill switch, headlights, and the start button. Got a storage container in the back. These are handy. Got a can of ether, and there's that ratchet strap in there. Perfect. If there's anything left in that ether can. Oh, geez. Hey, that's a good find. Almost 3/4 full. But what else? Good story on this one. There was a gentleman named Bob Bergstresser who's passed away, I don't know, a couple years after I bought this from his daughter. And he made edible bean combines with a company called Bob Equipment, not too far from here. I remember going there when I was a kid. They had a good parts department, really nice parts guy. Jim, I think his name was. But his daughter and his son-in-law were telling me that he bought this strictly to demo miniature manure spreaders that he was fabricating for horse farmers or whatnot. So he would basically just take this out and show people how his mini manure spreaders work behind it. I think they were ground driven. So it definitely wasn't beat on by any means. I think it was just adult driven. It wasn't driven by me, I guess, as a kid, childhood me, or childhood anyone. It's super straight. The only thing that I would say is a little off is this front rack is tweaked off to the to the left a bit. It's not straight with the fender. Drives me crazy, but that's just my OCD. I don't really. I mean, I don't know. I might try to straighten it. I don't want to mess it up anymore than it already is. But those are the original tires. I'm almost positive. Could be wrong. I'm not an expert on these, but it's in really nice shape. But the one thing that bothers me, the gas tank leaks. I just can't. This must have been a symptom with these because I've seen them like this. But I tried to fix this once. I tried to be, sneaky, and I stripped all this down, and I tried to do JB Weld in here, and I tried sealing it. I just didn't do a very good job. The way that these things are shaped underneath here, I'm just assuming that it's thin there, and the crud and the sediment kind of sat there, and it just ate them up. It's a bummer because this thing is in really nice shape otherwise. The color's great. There's no dents. There's, very, very little scratching. So what I did was I finally bit the bullet. I've been talking about doing this, or thinking about doing it forever, and I bought one of these plastic tanks off eBay, and it's not going to match perfectly, but it'll be functional. And I'll just put this tank up on the shelf, and obviously I won't get rid of it. I'll try to maybe do another attack at it to repair some other time. But I can't find one in as nice shape as this that's not rotten out or that you don't want $500 for. So what I'm going to do is I got a new tank, battery, and some fuel. I'm just going to slap those on and see if it'll start, and videotape that. And then the next day or two I'll get it out. It's supposed to be nice this weekend, and give it a bath and some attention, and we'll take it for a spin. Slap these things on and see if it starts. All right, I got the tank on. Can't tell in this lighting very well, but my biggest concern was this tank was going to look stupid. Not stupid, but just the color wasn't going to match the rest. of the plastic, but it seems like it's going to. I mean, I am a little fussy sometimes, and to put take the original tank off and put this on, they like to have the same patina and everything, but this is so much more functional that it's just going to have to be the way it is until I get that tank fixed, which won't be for a while. Just don't have the time. I want to make this so I can ride it and just go out and start it and go. I upgraded the battery a little bit from an acid battery to like a gel battery. Those little tiny acid batteries just never seem to last too long for me. And I did put the plug in here for my battery maintainer so I can plug it in when it's not being used. So yeah, I don't have a ton of hope this is going to fire right up, but remember that ether was in there for a reason. But let's see if I can pop the camera. Start. How's that look? Sorry about this. Still an amateur videotaping. Wow. Gas ran out of it, or I drained it or something. I was afraid there was going to be crummy gas in it. That started up right now. Well, let's see if the lights still work. Oh yeah. Lights, high beam, low beam. Uh-oh, one tail light out. That's not too bad. My air filter's still in good shape. When I first got this thing, that was mice had gotten in there and that was all chewed up. Let's see. And pretty easy to work on. All this apart when I give it a bath. It does have a kickstart on there, which is kind of nice. Oh, Big Red. The other thing I'm going to do is oil. Well, that's a bit of a problem. That's not lining up. Why won't you line up? Well, I guess I'll mess with that when I don't have the camera in my hand. Wow. Ready to go, except for this taillight. It's no big deal. I want to say you used to be able to tap that and come back around. Guess not. Crazy. Gotta love Hondas, man. These things are cool. Reliable to say the least. Well, I guess I'll mess around with the fitment on that gas tank for where the side panels mount in. I'll wheel it down to the shop and we'll do a little service on it. I don't even know what kind of oil goes in this. I put 1540 and everything, but I might not do it on this one. Cool. All right. Good news day so far. All right, the sun shines out. It's time to give this thing a bath. I get it out, and of course the back tire, I've got tubes in these because like I said, I believe these are the original tires. So I wanted to keep them. And so I just put tubes in them. And you'd think that'd make them last a little longer, but for some reason the nut came off the valve stem and had sucked it in. No idea how, but that's just kind of my luck. But I'm gonna give this thing a bath with low pressure water. You know, I don't want to blow any decals off, but see my muffler get some holes in it. These typically do that. I remember replacing one on my four-wheeler when I was a kid. That's the way it goes, I guess. It's not super loud yet, but I have to keep an ear open, and if it starts to get too bad, we'll do something about it. But yeah, I'll fire up the old washer and let's make this thing sparkle again. All right, it's going pretty good. Turn this off. Yeah, I mean, you can tell in the sunlight. I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but the plastic tank, the sheen of it doesn't match the original factory plastics, but it's not terrible. And I guess when it dries off, it'll be fine. So, pretty pleased with it. I'll probably bring the seat and those panels in, wash them in the sink. I don't want to blow any stickers off. I like to keep this thing as nice as possible. You know, I was watching videos on these, getting myself amped up. One guy showed there's a toolkit underneath the seat. I never knew this. I've had this thing forever. I took this off and I noticed it. It's like, I'll be darned. Yep, there's a toolkit in there. That's funny. That's cool. I don't know if this seat's original. I know a lot of them said Honda on them. I can't believe that they would be unoriginal, but it's stapled on there. It looks, who knows? It is what it is. But yeah, this looks good. Got a lot of life in her yet. Well, I'm gonna degrease this side here where the gas is leaking on it. I'll spray some degreaser on it once it dries off and try to clean it again. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this video up. It is Easter Sunday. Ate a bunch of food. Did all the family obligations. And now I'm gonna take this thing for a little drive and get the oil warmed up and change the oil. So, you know, I didn't detail it or anything. It's still, you know, not perfect, but it's nice and clean. It's gonna get muddy again anyways, maybe. I started cleaning this with a little Quad Zero steel wool and soap. That's gas that's dripped from that old rusty tank over the years. It would just kind of seep out of it and make a mess, but luckily it's cleaning up. I didn't spend a ton of time. I did try to degrease it and I didn't touch it. So we'll fire it up, let it warm up, and then go for a little drive, and then yeah, I'm going to change the oil. I won't bore you with that. And that'll be it for this video. But it's a beautiful day out. I think it's going to be fun. Help if I turn the gas on. Oh, some sort of miracle. Oh no, this taillight was working. I guess it's just wishy-washy. Doesn't like to be filmed. I was driving around last night and both lights were working, but decided not to today. No big deal. Don't need it where we're going. So yeah, while this warms up, the plastic tank, I like it. I mean, it doesn't quite match with the old plastic, but yeah, whatever. You can get this, I got this on eBay. I definitely recommend it. As long as you're not being fussy like me to try to match it up with the old plastics. It's a way better deal than the steel tank. If yours is dented or rusty or dirty or whatever, you're never gonna find one of those, you know, nice enough as this for the kind of money. Like I can't find a tank that's decent like that for under $500. And actually the ones that they're asking that much for aren't perfect. But that's, you know, people are a little crazy too. So I suppose they're not making them anymore. They're gonna start to demand that kind of price. But all right, let's go for a spin. looks good. She looks happy. So, well, happy Easter, everyone. Thanks for watching. Got some more coming with some another potential Honda coming around. Stay tuned for that one. It's going to be a little more of a revival than this, but getting this out was definitely the inspiration for this next Honda project. So all you 80s Hondas lovers, stay tuned. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.